He was given a contract to murder Brother Malcolm, but he claimed he couldn't do the job. But was the claim true? Find out when you see Watch Your Back, the conspiracy to murder Malcolm X. Hear from concerned individuals: George X. Luckett, Tyler Lewis, Lionel Turner, and many others. Watch your back.
They didn't even give them real bullets, they gave them blanks.
And I'm sure it was Dick Gregory who proved to be a coward on that day that started that rumor.
Because I always felt James was a spy. I don't care what nobody says.
He had bought this pistol. He was selling guns that didn't work.
Watch your back. Unwrapping the conspiracy to murder Malcolm X.
The biggest lie, of course, is that the nation didn't have anything to do with it. The second biggest lie is that white men fired guns and murdered Minister Malcolm.
Here's a man who can be seen as, despite everything that happened to him, everything, despite assassination attempts, despite backlash, despite mudslinging of his name and his reputation, here's a man who never stopped fighting for his people. Despite all the setbacks and all the hell that somebody like him went through, he never gave up on his people. And that's where he fits into today's script.
The largest factor in choosing my religion was Malcolm X. I pursued him because in my past life, Tupac was an idol of mine. But I discovered Tupac, gained a lot of his passion and energy and spirit from Malcolm X was inspired.
He had a faulty pistol, it wouldn't work. So he was just pulling the trigger and never fired.
Watch your back.
Do we need leadership, or do we need organizations, or do we need all of these different things? When you kill off Malcolm, King, Fred Hampton, a lot of sisters and brothers in the 60s, that put a lot of fear in our community, unspoken and spoken. We're still recuperating from those assassinations and destroying black organizations.
Watch your back. Unwrapping the conspiracy to murder Malcolm X.
There's no way in the world that any white man could have so much as thrown a stone at Minister Malcolm in that ballroom and gotten out of there alive. Impossible.
It needs to be more consciousness about who we are, where we're going, and raising up ourselves. There's so much work to be done, and it's still the attacks on us that we can't even see and feel, but resonates in ourselves and our communities. So we up against a lot today, and there's a lot against us in the whole African world, not just here.
Who wants to go every single day paranoid, anxiety high, stressed high, not knowing who to trust, always watching your back? It's scary, because you don't know who's going to stab you in that back. You don't know who's going to shoot you in the back. Heck, they may even shoot you in and stab you in the front.
Watch your back. Unwrapping the conspiracy to murder Malcolm X. A Omar Shabazz 2025 production. It's a mind-bending examination about backstabbing and betrayal.
I would say yes, there had to be some conspiracy there.
That if Malcolm doesn't do what we want him to do, we will kill him.
Watch your back. The conspiracy to murder Malcolm X. A Omar Shabazz production. A film best watched with the doors locked, the windows closed, and the shades rolled down.
Eventually he was given a .38, which was taken from him when he was executed.
I would say yes, there had to be some conspiracy there.
They said their God was a man on earth named Master Farad from Mecca. But their real God was a man from Texas named H.L. Hunt. It was a nation with two gods. One of their gods gave them direction. their other god gave them money. See the film, Remotely Controlled, H.L. Hunt's Nation of Islam. Find out why all black folks who joined organizations that dared to seek freedom, justice, and equality were all kept under non-stop heavy surveillance and were all labeled to be potential troublemakers, whether they have police records or not. Learn why all police agencies like the CIA, FBI, and local police departments in every major city and state could not afford to let any black organization get up off the ground to rise up and challenge their authority. Get a clear understanding of what oppression is all about after you see Remotely Controlled, H.L. Hunt's Nation of Islam. Hear from thought-provoking people like George X. Luckett, Lionel Turner, Tyler Lewis, Corey Brooks, and many others. A film so combustive your TV screen could ignite. Please keep a fire extinguisher nearby while viewing this production. Remotely Controlled, H.L. Hunt's Nation of Islam, a film so revealing that filmmaker Omar Shabazz had to double-check to make sure that he had permission from all individuals that he had interviewed and filmed to be used in this production.
Greetings, Brother Omar. This is Cody Brooks speaking. I want to thank you for allowing me to be part of this project, and I give consent to you and your team to use my footage for this film and many other films down the road. Thank you again. Power on, brother. Peace.
I'd like to thank Brother Omar for all the work he has done with these documentaries on Malcolm. It shows his sincere commitment to the legacy of Brother Malcolm. He has been uncompromising in his films, his documentaries, and especially his commentary, and trying to set the record straight for Brother Malcolm. So to his staff and all those who have worked so hard to preserve his legacy so that another generation can feel and see Malcolm and we grow from that legacy. I think that's very important. I want to thank you for the opportunity of sharing my little thoughts on Malcolm.
Did you give Omar Shabazz Productions permission to film you? Yes, I gave Omar Shabazz and his productions permission to film me, strictly for educational purposes, and of course to be a part of something with Malcolm X.
Brother Omar Shabazz, there's a brother that I wish that I had the opportunity to know in the 70s. And I would like to go back a step further in my mind and say I would like to have met him in the 60s, and we had the opportunity to be on the security force for Minister Malcolm, or just be in his presence to make sure that Minister Malcolm stayed safe. He's a very brilliant young man. He's a soldier. He is very sincere in what he does. He's the only outspoken, realistically truth-telling person that I know, black or white, in the United States of America, keeping Minister Malcolm's legacy alive. And I'm glad that I can be in his service. I love this brother.
I believe only if they could pick up the Quran or something, read about it, and get their own perspective of Islam, then they could have their own understanding of it and not be so ignorant towards not only Islam but Muslims themselves. Have you ever been called a sand Negro, a Negro lover, or a black Negro lover? Yes, probably all three by the three closest people in my life. I was called a sand Negro by my coworker, a Negro lover by my boss, and like a black Negro lover by my ex-fiance. Why not take advantage of the white skin privilege, put on a suit and tie, and get a white collar job and leave this Muslim stuff in the wind? Because denying Islam would be denying truth and what's right. It'd be denying everything Malcolm said. And Malcolm X, everything he said was an undeniable righteous truth.